Hey YouTube, coming at you with a Great League team. So, if you watched my video yesterday morning, I said I started with Charge Bugs. I thought I was strong. I started with a strong team, and then I saw no Star Armories and I saw 7 Gligars. I'm like, okay, you know what? I know Gligar's pretty meta, so it's just the luck of the roll there. I'm going to build a team that can kind of have at least one, maybe probably 2 answers to it. So I started with Dugong. I'm like, let's just get an ice Pokemon in there to deal with that. So ice Pokemon Dugong. I'm like, okay, you're going to be weak to rock and stuff. So I'm like, okay, Annihilate as a meta Pokemon that can deal with the rock. So let's pair those two. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to have a weakness in Annihilate, I start with Ice Punch just so I have coverage for it. I'm like, okay, I still want a second answer to this thing. So I was looking through my Pokemon. I'm like, for Alligator is a top, safe swap top Pokemon in this meta. Let's do that. I'm like, my team's double weak to electric, double weak to grass, but Dugong's in the back for grass. But there's not a lot of electric Pokemon in this meta. And I'm seeing a ton of Gligars. It's worth the trade-off. As you can see, a Shadow Magnezone on the lead. This is not the only one I saw. Yes, someone did say that Yonkers put out a Shadow Magnezone team, so that could have been the increase there. But if there was an increase in there, it's just okay. Plus then Lantern started showing up everywhere here. So win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, 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 loss. Okay. Shadow Magnezone. So I kind of have to, I stay in for a little bit and then I get into the counter here and they want to stand to get a wild charge off, which is great because at this point damage is done. I chipped it enough here. And out comes a Gligar. So just combo both of them. Great. All on one team, an electric and a Gligar. Get the Ice Punch off. They will take me out here. That's fine. Because at this point, I'm just like, okay, Dugong, double super effective Ice Shards, farm all the way, come out with energy. So that way, if the Magnezone comes back in, I can easily take it out. Is essentially what my thought process. So that's fine. I'll take a move here. It'll be dig. It'll hurt. That's fine. The counter's added up enough that anything's going to take this out. And they're debating do I come in there? Do I come in with my last Pokemon? They come with the last Pokemon, Crest. So I instant swap. I'm going to have to shield the Grass Knot. I was just thinking that the Claws and Hydros and then I can combo this low enough. So they come Magnezone, get off the Hydro to take it out. And now I can get off at least one more Hydro here. And this will chip low enough. And if not, I have basically two moves ready. And they let the first one go. So this is good. They're going to have to take me out here before I get to another move. So they do throw right before I get to the Hydro. Will take me out. But I'm going to Icy Wind immediately. Because they need to get to Grass Knot to take me out. And if I lower their attack, I think I can live one. It does not matter because I get to move anyways. Because I was almost at 2. So we got over a Magnezone lead. Don't worry, it's not the only one we saw. For Alligator into Bastion, so good lead. They're going to come in with Wiggly. So my first thought is let's just chip this and then I'll get my Dugong on it. So grab a shield or put this very, very low. And they let it go, so that's fine. So at this point, I'm I could take any move here, and I can farm and come out with energy and come out with a drill rod, and then I'm fine. The only way I'm not fine is if it's a Razor Leafer in the back, because then it's going to get tricky. And I eventually, I think in the last few matches, switched my Ice Punch to Night Slash because I hate just the one extra counter it takes to get there. I'd rather just have a Night Slash as opposed to, I already have kind of 2 covers for this. Anyways. What ends up happening, why you see a Sand Slash down there, is because I saw multiple Magnezones, Lanterns started coming out everywhere. I'm just why don't I just put in another ice that's not weak to electric or grass? And that was a Sand Slash, and I lost both matchups with it, and then I switched the teams. And they have a Razor Leafer, so Razor Leafer will just take me out with ease. For Alligator into Magnezone. Okay, so we're just going to stay in here. We're going to do the exact same thing, try and snipe a couple counters there. They finally get out. Tropius, Razor Leafer. So I'm okay, if this is a double Razor Leafer team, Dugong's going to have to sweep. So I get one off here, which is nice. And now I'm going to get a second one off here. What am I going to do? Am I going to just sacrifice? Or am I just going to try and get, shield Or no shield is the question. Yeah, shield. Okay. Shielding up Leaf Blade because it is a Razor Leafer, so these will add up. But double super effective Ice Shards. The Magnezone's pretty low, so if that comes back in, that's okay. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to instant swap, assuming that there is a double Razor Leafer in the back here. Call the move. It's just a mirror shot, and it is a Wiggly, which I shouldn't be surprised because this is the exact same team Young has just put out, basically. So get off a second Hydro. This will take out. And at this point, now 2 claws before the 1 Volt Switch registers, and now they're just a nice shard ice shard range. So I Ice Shard down for the win. Skarmory, neutral-ish lead. Steel Wings resisted. Shadow Claw neutral. Hydro Cannon neutral. Brave Bird is going to one-shot anything here. So I have to respect it. I have to respect the Brave Bird. It is just a Sky attack, so I'm going to throw this. Just like if you're going to get a Brave Bird off, I'm going to force you at least 1 shield here. They decide to let it go, and it's a Gligar. Okay, this is not bad. So I tried to like maybe get CMP on them here. I don't think they threw. I think they're farming up. But I grabbed a shield. Really good time by my opponent. Not falling for the CMP and getting the extra wing attack and getting it right before I get to Hydro Cannon. But that is fine. I have this lined up. And unfortunately, it is now I'm behind on a counter. And it is a bait game. And I'm like, I call the bait and it's a Shadow Ball. So yeah, what are you going to do? That's a very tricky situation. And it's not like I still had Ice Punch. So like even baiting there doesn't save you as much energy because it's not a Night Slash. So this game's over. Not too much I could have done there. Maybe, I mean, shield a Shadow Ball, try and bait a Nice Punch. But, you know, then forces them to call it. I think Night Slash is better on Annihilate, quite honestly. I just had Ice Punch from the other cup. Okay, Gligar. Hey, it's on the lead. Yay. Azumarill. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So my first thought is like, okay, let's just claw a bunch, get a bunch of energy, bubbles resisted, and then I could just take the move on my Dugong, and then maybe I can then make a decision here with Drill Run, see how much it does, see how much I saw how much a Play Rough does, and then I can make a decision like, do I want to fight for Switch? And then I'm like, I kind of need to fight for Switch immediately. Because I'm like, I need a Feraligatr on this, or I need the Dugong on it, on the Gligar. Like I need one of these two on the Gligar. So that's why I shield up the first Play Rough, because I'm like, I know they could take me out. So get the second Drill Run off. Not enough to take out. That's okay. I could take a Play Rough, and then at this point I can outpace and then just figure out if I need to like double shield here. So just going Ice Shard just in case they try to like catch something. So take it out. This comes back in, maybe thinking that they can farm me down, but I end up chipping to half and getting a move, which is huge. And I'm loaded with energy on the Feraligatr, so they're like, okay, they sacrifice. And it's a Lantern. So again, this is where I wish I had Night Slash. Almost every single scenario I wish I had Night Slash. That's not totally true. I did get a nice punch off on Tropius and on Gligar. Well, Gligar grabbed a shield, but like any of these other sort of bait scenarios or neutral Night Slash scenarios, you wish you had Night Slash. So I take the first move and I'm like, you know what? I grabbed the shield. I'm at 100 energy basically. So I bet you these Claws and Hydros can take this out before they take me out. So there's one Hydro. Here comes the second Hydro. I'm like, how much does this do? Is it within like a third Claw and Hydro range? And yes, it is, because that is how hard Feraligatr hits that I'm in the third. So like, again, just having so much energy there in a terrible matchup, just able to take that down with ease. So Skarmory lead, again, we've already seen this. It's not amazing because, again, one Hydro does not take out. They try and catch. And this is, yeah, so again, Lantern, right? So now we've seen 2 Magnezones, multiple Lanterns, a couple Gligars. Not as many as we saw when we had Charger Bug, but a couple Gligars. So that's when, I think maybe after this one is when I switched to A Sand Slash. See, there you go. Lower attack, boosting my attack, which is a bonus on top of lower energy. So now I'm going to shield because I can counter down, keep switch on the Skarmory. Not that I super need switch, but this will chip. They're within Hydro Cannon range now. Do I have Hydro? I do. I try and just take it. They catch on the Superior, so nice catch. Again, that'll chip enough, and then these Ice Shards are going to do a lot. I'm going to shield up a potential Frenzy. I think they bait me here, if I remember. Yeah, they bait me with the Aerial, so that's a good bait. So I know that they're getting to a Frenzy, so let's just grab this shield and lower their attack before I have to take this Frenzy. And I was hoping that it did less than what it does. And it almost one-shots me. I'm like, oh, okay. And now I just lost all my energy that I really wanted to throw on this. Because if I had energy, they would have had to dump their energy and would have won. But I get taken out, unfortunately. So they baited me for the win there. This is part of my, terrible run here. And then I'm like, okay. Bad lead. Come in, counter user. For Alligator, this is okay. I'm going to grab both shields, but I'll still lose this matchup. Because whoa, actually, I think... Oh, yeah, I remember this. So, I don't because we CMP'd on a couple of these things, right? This is where my opponent sort of makes a little bit of a mistake. If they don't try and CMP me, so I just went and CMP with them twice, so they're not getting any extra claws in. If they get the extra claws in, they could have just clawed down. They would have been down a shield, but they could have clawed down. Instead, multiple CMPs allows me to get to this move and take switch. So that is actually really big. The Abomasnow goes back in. Now I can align my Ace Sandslash on it. Everything's resisted here. Energy Ball resisted, but chips. And I really thought from a Shadow Ace Slash that these claws and Ice Punches would have done a lot more than they did. Not enough to take it out. And now they get to another move. And it's going to be another Energy Ball. It's going to take me out? Yeah, it takes me out. And then it's a freaking Lantern in the back, right? So this is the kind of day it was for me, right? Like, you would not expect, just on basic principles of I'm double resisting the Powder Snow and single resisting the Energy Ball, that I would be freaking taken out doing neutral with Shadow Claw and Ice Punch on an Abomasnow. Like, it just felt like this was my entire day yesterday. Because I went up to 2861 and then I dropped to 2712. Because I ended 1-9. And it was just like stuff like this. It was just like, had a ton of Gligars when I had Charge Bug. Had a ton of Electric when I had Double Water. Like, having a freaking Shadow Sandslash lose to a non-Shadow Abomasnow. Like, it was just like, it was one of those days. So I got a little bit back today. Not as much as I would have liked. I think I'm at like 2750. I'm going to use Singaporean Granny, who is a subscriber, who also is a legend and actually gave me a freebie today, so I appreciate that. He says he uses a team of Lantern Double Dragon. And he says it's the same team that got me to Legend multiple times. So I said, okay, let's use it. So I'm going to try using it today. And I'll see how it goes. If not, I don't know. Any other suggestions for teams? Let me know in the comments below. Because I'm really, at this point, I'm just like stuck for teams. Quite honestly. I may actually go back to like an Umbreon something team, because two things. So someone in my comments wrote, your team building video about looking at the stat product helped me get to like my highest elo I've ever gotten. I'm like, great, I'm glad that happened. And then I'm like, I just went on a whole talk about how looking at the stat product and finding Pokemon with good moves and stat products is like a key to success. And I have my subscribers say that, and I know I know that's the way it is because it's always been the same for me. And I'm not using it. I'm like, why would I use Ace and such? That doesn't fit my like style at all. Umbreon at number 6, like Clodsire at 14. There's some stuff here that I think could work. I just gotta like look at the stat products, look at these Pokemon and figure out which 3 I want to use together. But I'll try the Lantern Double Dragon team first, see how that goes. If I get on a little run, I'll just keep running with it. If I do okay with it, I'll showcase it, and then I will try and find like a triple stat product team that fits my that I think would actually fit my team building strategy properly and run with that. So that's it. Stay tuned this afternoon for a 13-game winning streak from a subscriber. It wasn't the Catch Cup, but again, Catch Cup is basically open Great League, so I'm going to showcase it anyway. So that's this afternoon. And then most likely tomorrow morning will be the Dragon team, like the Lantern Double Dragon. And then we'll see what other teams I can put together and go from there. I will cover the news when it drops. Probably not when it drops, realistically. I know I'm in the office many, many times this week. So I will cover it probably the next morning and very, very, very in depth. So stay tuned for that. And that's basically it. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below any other teams that you've run with that I should try, because I am really just ready to take any ideas here. But that's basically it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.